second there, bud. Hello and welcome to another podcast tonight. We are on show number 31 and currently is January 31st of 2022 at 9:53 p.m. and we are now live. So tonight's topic, let me turn that up a little bit so you can hear me a little bit better. But tonight's topic is going to be the whole Sony Buys Bungie. We just got the news today. Sony purchases Bungie for $3.6 billion. You know, because they got that bougie money. So, but that being said, we're just going to go ahead and go right into the show. And my boy Old Wise, I'm going to go ahead and invite him to speak. Are you there, my good man? Hello? Turn that down just a little bit. Maybe he just stepped away for a moment. Anyways, while we wait on him, hang on. All right. So, I guess to point out my opinion. Oh, okay. Hang on. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Right to speak. And there he is. I guess I'll wait for the juicy bits. Are we still having technical difficulties, my man? I think we is.
Okay, hello?
Ah, there he is.
I had to friggin' close the app and bring it up again.
Okay. So I'd say we go ahead and just dig in to the
main topic at hand.
Yes, the Sony
The
Buys
acquisition.
Bungie, which is actually not surprising, to be honest.
Yeah.
To consider Microsoft just bought Activision and Blizzard here as of recent. So Sony buying Bungie, which who knows who else they're going to put it in their back pocket. They I think we find ourselves in a very interesting position here. I've seen people freaking out because they're worried, because I guess at one point, Sony and Bungie kind of got a little snuggly there back in D1, and they had PlayStation exclusive content and loot for only Sony players. And people are concerned that that's going to be a thing again, which rightfully so, I guess. I mean, but
Yeah,
it really, when you really think about it, I don't think it really makes any sense if you think that, because it's a cross-platform now. Like we're all playing together now. That was back in when we were all segregated, I guess you could say. But now we're all unified into one. Everybody could play with each other. Giggity. But yeah, I don't think that's going to be really much of an issue. Plus, Bungie has already stated that that's not going to be a thing. They're not gonna. They hold all rights. They are still independently on Destiny. Now, my thing would be is what's going to come in the future. $3.6 billion is a lot of money. And for Sony just to give it away for no reason, I highly doubt that. But I'm sure they're trying to get their fingers stuck in somewhere.
I mean, if I'm being honest, they kind of don't need another reason other than D2, because now that they actually own Bungie, all of the, one, the cost of making the game, and two, the actual profits from the game go to Sony. Or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Well,
they go directly to Sony, so...
Well, they're definitely going to want to get their cut, but the way that Bungie has stated, which if they go back on that statement, then yeah, I can understand people being upset and outraged. But Bungie has recently stated that they're not making any changes according to the Sony purchasing them, and especially through Witch Queen or throughout all the way till 2024 when the final shape comes out. Now, my thing is what if not, maybe it could be for the next IP, because we know Bungie is making another IP. Or we would have maybe if Bungie, you know, because they're talking about outsourcing to other media, like like TV shows and shit like that. So maybe Sony is trying to get ahead of the curve to dip their toes into that while beforehand.
And maybe they can actually get some use out of PlayStation TV. I'm just kidding on that, but I can imagine the idea of an actual like show by one of Bungie's IPs, mostly because like Red and Blue Battles already exist, which uses Halo models, mostly the Spartan armor, the Lego sets,
Right.
to make like really intriguing, you know, fight scenes and wars with just Halo Reach armor, basically, not the Halo Spartan armor.
Right.
Which,
So Chris, I see you in chat. How you doing tonight? It's my hero right there. I haven't played with him in a long time. Shit. I haven't been able to be on Destiny for a minute. But anyways, go ahead and continue your thought. I'm sorry.
Yeah, as I was saying, people have already been using the IP that they have, that Bungie has, for a while now. How long has like Red and Blue Wars been going on now? Freaking 2014, 2015 ish.
Mm-hmm.
Like early YouTube days. It's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, I mean,
and they may be one of the like higher ups in Bungie, which is now Bungie Sony, I guess.
Right.
Saw it and was like, oh, maybe we can actually use this untapped potential that we might have, even though most of our characters in our IPs are freaking silent. At least most of the main characters. But we do have untapped potential on that. Because, one, Halo. Even though, you know, Microsoft, well, yeah, they bought Halo and put it to Take-Two Interactive, which is now the new developers of Halo. So, Microsoft still owns Halo. That's not going to change anytime soon. But
well,
now,
Chris, sorry, I wanted to respond to Chris real quick. Chris, the Halo is actually on Xbox. It's always been Xbox exclusive, Xbox and PC. And now Microsoft actually owns 343 and all of them. So,
yeah.
But he was saying he was saying that basically Bungie only has Destiny 2 and really nothing else. But he was confused. He was thinking that they still had Halo, but they no longer have Halo. Halo's owned by 343.
I mean, they still have the original titles.
I don't think that they own anything of Halo anymore. Bungie does.
No. They don't.
They signed all that to 343.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like the original games, like Halo 1 and Halo 2.
Mm-hmm.
That 343 wasn't a part of, that it was purely Bungie. Even if they sold the Halo IP per se, they still have those games in the backlog, so to speak. And
well, I figured if that 343 would own anything and everything Halo, since they sold it off.
Well, yeah.
So like Bungie owns nothing when it comes to Halo. Now they are still known for creating Halo. So I mean, they have that title. So, but it's just kind of funny because like Microsoft takes Halo, you know, from on Xbox, and And then we have Sony that takes Bungie over Destiny.
Yeah.
So it's like, ooh. But I don't think we can actually make that correlation. I don't think that's at all. But it's kind of funny. You can kind of meme on that.
Yeah, but at the same time, like if they're gonna make a new IP, I wonder what direction they're gonna go at it from. If they're gonna make something similar to Halo, or are they gonna make something similar to Destiny, or something with a mix of both?
Or it could be something completely different. I don't know. It's crazy to think because it won't be until 2025 before we find out what that IP even looks like. Unless if like somebody catches some oh, I don't know, like they'd be able to data mine, or they're able to get some leaks or whatever it is that they're working on. But I don't know, maybe Sony's trying to get in on that action, or maybe because Bungie wants to like outsource to other media, you know, like maybe a Destiny TV show, something to that effect. Which I think, I mean, it could be good. Yeah, and Sony could help with that.
The Destiny TV show idea could definitely be a good way to expand the lore and make it a more, so to speak, friendly way, instead of having to bog your way through, for example, if you're not a reader or anything, bog your way through the reading passages and the books that you unlock by doing the triumphs. That could definitely be a good way to expand the lore, or like make it more easily accessible to players who don't really care for the lore and or don't really have the time or effort.
Bro, like if they're going to do it, I don't want them to do a movie. They got to do a TV show. Oh, yeah. And it would be like lore heavy. Like that's the only way. Like it would be so much better. There's like so many other things, like I made the example. I told my wife that because we would watch for example, we'd watch Harry Potter, and she is a Harry Potter nut job, okay? I'm not kidding. All right. And she will literally tell me things like, why didn't they put that in the movie? It's like, oh my God. And I told my wife, and I was like, you know what they should do? They should have made it into a TV show, expanding the books, like to really put in a lot of that detail. I think Harry Potter would have been much better as a TV show than a bunch of movies.
A good example of literally making a movie of books is the Lord of the Rings franchise.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. I mean, oof. I mean, those were long ass movies too, and imagine like what all they left out.
Yeah, each movie is 5 hours.
Yeah, it's like 5 hours, dude. It's a freaking lifetime, dude. But if Bungie is going to go down that road with that kind of media, I would really hope it would be a TV show instead of like a movie. I think it would be so much better as a TV show.
Because Destiny has so much lore and so much hidden content and so much little tidbits that you can do with it, that it's like a TV show is definitely a more easily accessible way. One, you can make it episodic, or two, you can make it that it all interconnects together into one bigger plot, and they can basically keep expanding it as they keep updating the game and they keep adding more lore and more tidbits and more and more and more. Mm-hmm. They basically have an infinite TV show as long as the game is still alive.
Right. Chris says, I don't get why Bungie was bought by Sony, honestly. It's a desperate move, but either way, I hate to admit it, Xbox is king now. It's like, I don't know, because like Sony bought Bungie, there might be some There might be some back and forth going on here now.
I would definitely say that sure, just because Microsoft bought Activision and Blizzard, and they basically have like cash cows, mostly Call of Duty and fucking. The only game that I know from Blizzard is fucking Overwatch. So, just completely negate my point. I'm just gonna forget that Blizzard exists for now.
Yeah.
Because the only IP that I know them from is fucking Overwatch.
Oh yeah. I didn't play too many Blizzard games. Diablo, I would say.
All right, I forgot Diablo franchise existed.
Yeah.
But
okay, here's another question. Okay, take your bias and set it off to the side. Put it on the table next to you. All right, leave that there. All right, don't pick it up. Leave it right there. Now, my question to you is, and this goes to anybody else that's listening to me right now or listens later on. Do you think that Destiny 2 or Destiny just as a TV show would be better as an anime or a live action? As a TV series.
Well,
But take your bias and put it off to the side and don't touch it.
It really depends completely on how the execution is done and how the concept they do for the show is. Because if they do something like, I don't know, the lore expansion, so to speak, it would be better to explain it as an animation, at least in my opinion.
But have you ever seen I am oblivious to anime, to be honest. Me seeing anime would be like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z. And I watched Death Note with my brother, and I watched I kind of in and out the was that the one that my wife, she watched it, Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, FMA,
Yeah, she watched it, and I would kind of periodically dip in and out watching it, but
here's the question.
Now Chris says live action, definitely.
Again, it really depends on the execution, because if they make it an episodic thing, kind of like hold on, having an asthma fit real quick.
Don't die.
Okay. I'll try not to, but I won't promise. But
it would really end the show pretty quick if it did.
But going back to like the main topic real quick, is that depends on the execution and what they plan to do with the TV show. Because if it's episodic and it just expands a little bit of the lore, like it's not really lore heavy, then sure, it could kind of be something like Full House or Family Guy. But it could be like live action, it could be animation, or it could be something like Black Mirror, which mixes in both.
Okay.
It
yeah.
depends on the concept that Bungie brings out and on the execution that the network they use allows them to do, even though they have Sony as a backer.
Right.
But
well, we've seen like the whenever they advertised Destiny 2, especially back when we still had the Red War and everything that we could play, where it was basically like a live action, but it was like, it seemed CGI at the same time, but it was crisp. It was really awesome looking, but it felt live action-y. I would actually watch an entire show like that.
Yeah, you would watch a mocap show.
Whatever they show, like they're rallying after we got attacked and shit, and um, oh, and it was the famous one where Kate Six is like they're trying to like they're going to say goal, but he says Gary. You know how it used to look, or like the Titan goes off and to save the puppies. It's like that whole scene.
I know what you're talking about. What you're talking about is motion capturing, which is shortened to mocap.
Chris says he thinks it could be like a Witcher or a Halo movie basis type deal.
I don't know how I feel about movies though. Like movies,
I think it would be better as a TV show. That's just my personal opinion. But
movies are just such a bog to sit through.
I just don't think you could cram enough of the story into a movie. Like
you really couldn't, because like the multiple expansions of Destiny universe, the Red War, the Forsaken, freaking now Witch Queen.
Right.
It's just so filled with like lore and little hidden tidbits that not everybody catches. And if they make it into a TV show, they could really capitalize on those little tidbits and make it like its own.
Or they can make a movie like later on, like almost kind of like do it in the setup like they do with like a TV show that explains like kind of like how they have it set up now. You have your DLCs and your seasons. Well, basically the TV show would run like the seasons, and to tell more of the in-depth story, but then you would have like this big movie that would come out every once in a while.
Yeah, like
I can't think of anything else that they've done that with before. Like any other, like anybody else that have made movies, like where they did a TV show and then boom, there's a movie.
I don't know, but at the same time, it's like game movies in general they have this one stereotype of never being really good. Like the original Mario movie from fucking 1980s or fucking like early game movies is what I mean, basically.
Right.
Like this, they have this one stereotype that they come out and they're never really quite as good as they're hyped up to be. And that's why I'm like saying, oh, it would be better as a TV show, kind of like Slugterra. Because Slugterra was a game first and then it turned into a TV show.
Right. Hey Gabe, Gabe here asks, if it's one gun you can choose from Destiny 2 with the catalyst in a zombie apocalypse, what gun would you choose to, and he says he'll pick the Huckleberry. I would have to say Trinity Ghoul. All day, dude. Fucking Trinity Ghoul all day.
If there's one gun that you would pick in a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, with the catalyst.
I'd say it would have to be a melee weapon.
A melee weapon?
Yeah, I would probably pick the chainsaw sword, ? One, infinite fuel, but it also depends on if you have infinite ammo or not.
Well, you see, Trinity Ghoul has infinite ammo.
Because it's primary.
Chris says Xeno. Of course you would. He said Xenophage. I swear. It's either Xeno or Galley. That'll be the two that he'd choose.
I mean, like if it's a primary weapon that has infinite ammo, like in the game, I would definitely have to pick. Fuck, this one gun. I'm actually going out of my way to look it up.
Well, what is it? Primary, secondary, or
It's primary.
kinetic?
No, not kinetic. Let me check the vault. It would be the sweet business.
Sweet business, of course. Typical.
Minigun all day.
Get your
baby.
rally barricade out and just go. It'd just be like brr all day.
Yeah. It
You
would
just
either,
go burr all day.
it would either be sweet business, Telesto, just break the whole world, or the wrist runner.
Well, if you take Telesto, you'd be able to conquer the whole world and probably break it at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. So, now we got that figured out. Everybody's got their weapons of choice.
Sweet business. You got
Now,
Trinity Ghoul.
I kind of want to venture in to another topic. And I'm kind of feeling Gambit. Like, what kind of changes we could possibly be seeing for Gambit?
In the future?
Yeah, because they're going to be telling us about it, and maybe not the next 12 this week, but it could be the next one. I'm waiting on their asses to finally come out and tell us about weapon crafting. How is it going to be implemented? And is it going to be monetized, like behind a paywall? Like honestly, I can see arguments on both sides when it comes to like monetization of weapon crafting, but it's like, but they won't say none yet. They're really holding it close to the chest on this one. So,
Because it's a major change to the whole Destiny 2 biosphere, basically.
right. So,
Like,
but
it could make or break the game.
right. So, but let's talk the Gambit first.
Okay,
Like, what kind of changes would you like to see for Gambit?
I would probably say, I don't know. I feel like Gambit is in a really good spot right now. At least for me personally. Because it's a challenging game mode that forces you or makes you like multitask. One, making sure you don't get killed, and making sure you get enough kills so you can get to the end and kill that primeval.
Right.
So it's pretty balanced-ish. If anything, I would say that makes certain weapons do less damage, like the Jotun, or I guess what other weapon does a fuck ton of damage, for lack of a better word. Yeah,
Well,
basically Jotun's the only one that I can think of.
Jotun. Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Like, make it do less damage against players when you're transported.
Right.
About it.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
Chris, I need to get on to Destiny. I miss playing with y'all too. Like, man, I need to do a dungeon run here pretty soon.
Are you gonna do Grasp of Avarice?
I need to.
Oh,
I need to.
I'll get my LAN cable
But
out.
I think I'll be able to. I'm gonna try to get on for a little bit tomorrow night. You know, I still want to stick with uploading every week. You know, just try to. I'm still trying to push to get this podcast going, and you know, try to get a bigger audience. Like my past 2 shows, I was like, it was dead. Two shows in a row, dead in the water. But a lot of it could have been like my choice of, the topic. One was Iron Banner and the other one was the TWAB, which really there wasn't really a whole lot of significance within the TWAB. So,
Yeah.
but today it was like, well, I'm gonna at least try it, try to go for the, see if people might be interested in the whole Bungie being bought by Sony.
Yeah.
But other than that,
sorry if
so
I'm
I'm
coughing a lot.
Huh?
I'm sorry if I'm coughing a lot. Asthma is not being kind to me
Oh,
for the
you're
first
good.
time in 10 years.
You're good. Ain't no problem.
I'm slowly making it my bitch. Again.
Chris isn't gonna be on until after Witch Queen. But you got that new job though, right? Got bills to catch up. Yeah.
Hey, I'll be on.
I feel that.
So.
Whoa,
I'll
whoa,
whip
whoa.
out the line table just for you, Arma. Don't worry about it.
There you go. Yeah. You can still McDonald's Wi-Fi and just pull out your laptop. We'll do a dungeon. Do a dungeon run.
I'll do a dungeon running out of a potato.
There you go.
Potato Wi-Fi, you already know.
That's right. We'll just use you to keep us from wiping the entire thing.
I'll just
Like,
be like,
hey, you just sit here and we'll just run everything.
I mean, it's not much different from my usual job, isn't it?
Well, whatever. It ain't that bad. Shit.
Plus, this might get a little too real for a second, but I'm kind of having problems with my relationship, so I'm kind of just distancing myself from all of that shit.
Oh.
So I'm playing a lot more often.
Yeah.
I
Well,
just
you always got the homies, You got the homies.
bros before hoes. That's the bro code.
Yeah, it's still alive and well too.
That is the contract you sign as soon as somebody calls you a homie.
That's right. Well, Chris, yeah, I'll be doing the show every night. You're more than welcome. Hell, if you want to be on, just hop in, get into the Discord and just hop on. We'll chat. Unless if you just enjoy listening to me talk. It's a lot easier to have a show when I have at least one person to talk to. It really does.
Hey, I'm sorry I wasn't here yesterday.
No. This is not to put that on anybody. That's not to guilt trip or nothing about anybody showing up or anything. If anything, it's good practice for me for whenever, if I don't have anybody to talk to and nobody's watching, then it really forces me to step out of my comfort zone and try to figure out how to make a show last on my own feet. Whatever the topic may be, it doesn't matter. So it really does help, because I may have a show where I have people watching and chatting and I'm talking to them and nobody is here in the call-in section. So, I'll have to figure out how to work on my feet. Yeah, and a lot of the times, learning how to talk to myself. So it's still a learning experience, no matter which way you look at it.
Yeah. Plus, I try to be in the podcast or at least be here every so often. But school right now, the frickin' district's being suck. The district sucks right now because apparently some dumbasses tried to sneak into campus, and now they're doing this weird thing with the student IDs, where as soon as we enter the campus, we have to show our IDs, and they're forcing us to wear them at all times. And I'm like, no,
I'm not gonna wear my mugshot on me every single day.
This ain't no prison.
Yeah,
This ain't a prison
like-
I'm paying for. What are you doing?
and like a couple of my friends got searched today, and one of them got dogged.
That
Which is
sucks.
basically- Yeah. Like they searched the whole classroom, and he got dogged. And you know, he had some nicotine on him.
Uh-oh.
So now, and since he's going to the military, he got 5 days ISS and 1 citation.
Little slap on the wrist. He'll survive.
No, but another dude, a white dude, got caught and he got 3 days ISS.
Well, we're not going to go down that road, so we're staying off that topic. So back to the Destiny topic.
I'm
In
sorry,
other news,
I'm sorry, I just get so heated because the school system is so trash.
right? But like, I mean, I understand, but that's just kind of one of my things that I don't. There's like 3 topics I don't want to talk about on my show, and that's politics,
cool.
social issues, or religion. Those are like my big 3 that I don't want to. Those should be spoken like. I'll discuss it in private, but not on the show. That's not what my platform's for. But I feel it. I feel you.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I'm sorry.
you're good. No, you're good. It's all good. But anyways,
Going back to the fun stuff.
yes.
Not
I
the real life sucky.
I kind of wonder what else Sony might be anticipating when it comes to purchasing Bungie.
Well, apart from new IPs and that possible idea of Bungie expanding into new territories, basically uncharted waters.
Because we know that, like, Bungie, already told us that they're not making any changes, based on because Sony, and
Yeah, but I feel like
they still will remain independent. But it could present an opportunity for like better quality. They'll be able to do like more. Maybe not with Witch Queen, because I'm pretty sure they're like working on the next DLC as we speak right now.
no, but I feel like they could do some tweaks and maybe add a couple more elements with a higher budget that Sony might provide for them.
Yeah.
Because now that Sony has a cash cow, aka Destiny 2, they one will want to keep it fed and keep it producing money.
Right. I mean, that's the whole point, right? It's all about the money.
It's all about that bottom
Because
line.
at the end of the day, they are business.
A business. Yeah.
They're in the business of making money. And I understand some people, they take it to a whole new level about, mega corporations, this and that. It's like, bro, if I decide to sit here and defend Bungie in any kind of way, it's not because I'm defending the higher up, the guy at the very top. No, I'm talking to the people that work every day their asses off and to produce what we have today, for us to be able to play Destiny. I'm like supporting them, the workers,
They're trying their best,
the worker bees, basically.
They're trying their best.
Yes, and they're only allowed to do what they're capable of. I see this all the time, even in my own field, as a mechanic. I have all these great ideas that we could do, but doesn't mean that they're going to allow it. You know, like I could present like, okay, we started using underglow, you know, like LED lights that you would put underneath your vehicle, right?
Yeah.
And I presented that like 4 years ago, and they were like, no, we tried that, it wasn't any good, so nobody would buy it. And that was back in like early 2000s. It was early 2000s. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That's all the kids want now is lights and flashy stuff. You know, come on. you gotta work towards those who are like, you gotta get to the younger generation. The old generation has already established their brands. They're already stuck, you know, set in stone. It's the younger generations that don't know anything yet that you got to get to, and you show them flashy lights on a golf cart, it looks pretty damn awesome. And guess what we do now?
LEDs.
We put LED lights underneath the golf carts, and it's freaking awesome. And basically, I'm the expert on it. Just don't put one on a lithium ion car. It sucks.
Yeah.
But anyways, y'all didn't show up to listen to me rant about my day job. So anyways,
enough for anything. I'm just here.
Oh yeah. I mean, I figure like this podcast it could evolve to many different things. You know, we talk Destiny, but you know, it could, you know, ramble on to something else. You know, who knows? It's supposed to be an open thing. You know, like we'll have a topic to talk about. You know, just get us started. Get the muscles warmed up and ready to go, and then, you know, now we said what we need to be said, and we're just going to end up repeating ourselves, so we might as well just, you know, talk about whatever comes to our heads. Chris says, true, also the younger gens that's gonna have saved the older gens. Embarrassing. Yeah.
I feel insulted.
The younger gen have to say the older gen. I'm guessing that's what he's saying. Embarrassing. Yes. Yeah, these damn younger gens. They're the ones gonna have to take care of the older gens.
Damn, Arma, I see what you think of me now. Okay.
Kids these days.
Fun. Back in my day, we played with marbles.
You ain't lying. I had Pokemon on mine.
No, I actually, like, legit, when I was a child, I used to play with marbles and Blades a lot.
Yes, so did I.
Yeah.
I played with Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Beyblades, you know, when it came to like video games, I would play like the old Pokemon games, the old school Pokemon Yellow, which was my favorite. And then and now I got it on my phone where I could play those original Game Boy games.
Yeah,
using an emulator, which is pretty dope. It's pretty sick. But yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, my actual first introduction to video games that I remember, it's like going to my best friend's house, like to his grandma's house whenever he came over on the weekends. And just like sitting down on the floor, just playing PS2, playing Mortal Kombat, GTA San Andreas, Jak and Daxter, Midnight Club, Need for Speed. That was like my first actual introduction to video games. After that, I kind of expanded. My aunt gave me her old PS1 where I used to play Lion King, Rayman.
Damn.
My
first. Besides, I mean, I played like the old Nintendo games, like, you know, Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
But also, I would say, like, once I got my first PlayStation, I played Delta Force. I had 3 games. One was Delta Force. The other one was Hot Wheels Extreme Racing. And
Sorry to interrupt.
I
real quick.
I can't remember if it's a Rainbow Six. It may have been a Rainbow Six, like an early Rainbow Six.
Rainbow One.
Probably. It was probably like Rainbow One. But yeah, like I would play those. I didn't really play that third one, but I used to play Delta Force. That was, boy, graphics back then, dude. It was like there was no facial features. It was just like almost like a square box with like a face painted on, and then the hands kind of looked like this, like they were holding some, almost like a Lego hands. it was fucking weird.
But hey,
Like-
you also
Oh, I ate
classic-
it up though. I ate it up,
you
bro.
also-
I actually looked up a YouTube video of someone playing Hot Wheels Extreme Racing, and I'm like, no fucking way. And I was like, damn, were the graphics really that bad back then?
Yeah. You've gotten so
I'm
used
like,
to,
oh my god, compared to what we play right now, games were shitty back then. But I would still play the hell out of it though if I had the opportunity.
Hey, listen. I don't care what anybody says. I would still, even though we got the new Spider-Man, I would still go back to PS2 era and play Spider-Man 2.
I would play, to go back to PlayStation 2, my biggest games were Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
I loved that game.
Gotta
And
love
then Final Fantasy,
7.
no, not 7.
6.
12?
Oh, 12.
Yeah. I believe it was Final Fantasy 12. Either 11 or 12. I believe it was 12.
I never
'Cause
really got Final
That
Fantasy.
I didn't either until I played that game. Holy cow. And then I played on my PSP, I played Final Fantasy Crisis Core. Bro, I cried at the end of that game. I shit you not. Like, I literally had tears. Like, they oh my god, that was crazy. And it was on a PSP game. Like, everyone,
Don't get
and
me started on
you gotta look up some of the cutscenes for that game, dude. Like, it was beyond its fucking time.
Don't
Like, they are stellar at their shit. They are so good.
I'll tell you a little something about me. My first ever console that I actually owned was a PSP, a PlayStation Portable, Black and Red God of War edition, and that was my first game. God of War, I think it was the first one, and or Chains of Olympus.
Oh, that was good. Chains of Olympus was good.
That was
I
my
like
first
that.
console and game.
Jeez.
After that, I went and got a Nintendo and played New Super Mario Bros.
I say my favorite Super Mario, or my favorite Mario game besides Mario 64 was what was it called? It was where like the world was like made out of paper basically. And it was on the 64.
Yeah.
Mario.
Or some shit like that.
No, it was like Mario. Oh, I can't remember. I can't even remember the name, but it was. I loved it. That was probably one of my most favorite Mario games.
It's Paper Mario, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that Paper Mario? I think you're right. Yeah, that sounds right. Paper Mario. I actually enjoyed that. That was crazy.
Yeah, because believe it or not, Paper Mario's been around for a while. It's just that the games where Paper Mario is most known for on the 3DS.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think it's like Super Mario RPG or something like that on the N64.
Yeah.
Where the character sprites look kind of 2D, but I might be.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in chat will probably correct me if I'm wrong.
Only if it's Chris, because he's the only one listening right now. Maybe.
Hey, who knows? He might be Googling right now.
He might be Googling it, yeah. Oh,
Mario
man.
N64 that looked 2D.
So what kind of things are you looking forward to in Witch Queen? Like what would be the one thing you're really looking forward to? Because we're gonna have weapon crafting, we're gonna have the revamps of the supers. There's gonna be basically super revamp 3.0. Like what are you looking forward to?
If I'm being completely honest, I'm actually kind of looking forward to the exotic.
The exotic, the new one, the SMG looking one. Yeah.
Exotic. I just really want to know what the perk is going to be, basically the exotic perk, and how it's going to function in the game. That's mostly what I'm gonna be looking forward to.
Right.
Like secondary is going to be the actual story mode of Witch Queen and the weapon crafting system or whatever. But that's like second priority, mostly because I don't want to get my hopes up. One, because even though it has so much potential to be something very unique, at the same time, I don't know what Bungie as a company might do with it. So it's kind of, I want to keep my hopes low so that whatever they do, even if it ends up being like a major screw up and nobody likes it, I can still be like, oh, hey, this is an entertaining thing. I could have fun with this for a bit.
Now, what would you say would be a known disappointment that you know is coming, or what would you say it would become a disappointment if they did X?
Oh, well, it would be kind of a major disappointment if, one, they just didn't do the game justice, basically. Like, it's gonna be, this is the first huge expansion in a while, ever since Beyond Light.
Right.
And
it's a whole ass year, and then some, because technically we should have had in it the DLC in December, November, like last year, but they had to push it off.
Yeah.
So
and that just proves to show that it's such like a big change and such a big expansion that they're adding. That it's like, if they don't do it justice and it becomes another Cyberpunk 2077, it's just gonna be a really big mess and nobody's gonna want to play it.
Yeah.
And kind of like my biggest fear that they'll just end up sticking to the other content, or they'll probably just have to force themselves to bog through Witch Queen at least to get to the semi-decent parts. And that's kind of like what for me personally would be like a really big disappointment.
Right. Chris says he has some thoughts on the SMG. He said has recoil like a mother, no handling either, unless you just like SMGs. Only reason you should get an exotic is the looks. That is it. The SMG exotic and the fact that we aren't getting new subclasses just to do over the void, which is just stupid. So Chris says that like he does not like the fact that we're not getting a new subclass and they're just going to redo like our light classes, which I could see that, like, because we were kind of expecting, like, okay, this DLC we're going to get a new, completely new subclass, and then the next one we're going to get another, and then so on and so forth, and we're going to have like 6 supers, 3 lights and 3 darks. Well,
I mean, I feel like,
but I kind of like the idea that they're kind of revamping the lights to match what we got going on with the dark subclasses, because it makes sense, because once they do bring in the dark subclasses, everything works together, like it's all the same, you know. You don't have just all this, like, think of it if they brought these like if they did the dark subclasses, they did that, they gave us the next one, and it's a lot like the dark sub, like with stasis, but they never touch light subclasses. Well, you know just damn good well that the community would be like, hey, why doesn't Bungie do the whole light subclass like they do dark subclass? And it's like, okay, like it, so it makes sense to me, but you know, I understand if someone would rather have dark subclasses versus having the light subclasses. Chris says, correct, I was hyped for something new. I can understand both sides, honestly, but they have our light, so why are we still using the light? Maybe I don't know. Maybe they're going to intertwine the whole light subclass into the reason why, like within the story. I don't know.
I actually want to respond to this one.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so Chris, I feel like the light revamp was something inevitable anyways as soon as the Darkless light subclass came out. Mostly because of the fact that they did something completely new and players actually liked it. They actually took a risk even trying to implement something in a new subclass, because it's something completely new, and one, trying to implement what they did with the Darkness subclass was a big risk, whether you think about it or not, because it could basically just make or break the whole DLC. And in a sense, it's something that was very inevitable as soon as Bungie saw the positive feedback. Even though there was some setbacks here and there with the subclass being too OP, too broken, whatever. But that happens in every game, you know? At least not in every game, but in most games where like you have to balance a lot of stuff. One, you have to balance the weapons, you have to balance armor sets, perks, mods, and then you have to balance out, the actual skills that the player uses. So I feel like the light revamp or light 3.0, whatever you want to call it, it was inevitable as soon as the community liked the Darkness subclass and how it's actually moddable or presented. Because light subclasses, ever since D1, if I'm being honest, didn't really have that much customizability, mostly because of the fact that, especially in D2, you're basically just set to one preset. You can't really change much out of the subclass. You can't really mix and match. For example, Warlock and the Well of Radiance. You can't mix and match the grenades because, one preset is specifically set
for being a support type, while the top tree is specifically set for being a damage dealer type. So you can't really expect Bungie to be like, oh, what if people... Well, now you can expect them to be more like here now with a new revamp. Like, oh, hey, maybe people want more survivability in the damage types of classes. Or maybe they want more damage in the support types of classes. They want to mix and match. They want to, make it their own unique abilities per se. Even though they're technically still the same, thing.
Okay, Chris says he kind of agrees, but also says they still could redo it all. To be honest, and I'm just thinking on terms of adapting. We don't even use all three subclasses. If you want to respond to that.
Well, yeah, we don't really use all three subclasses, mostly because of the fact that some are more useful than others. That's literally the simple answer. Some subclasses, again, going back to the Warlock, Well of Radiance has way more usability in PvE than top tree or bottom tree. Mostly because it gives a damage buff, it gives infinite healing as long as you're inside the well and the timer is still up. And you can pair it up with 1K Voices, the Linear Fusion Rifle. I kind of forget the name of it right now. Damn it. Wrong time.
Linear Fusion Rifle?
Yeah.
Sleeper?
Yeah, Super Stimulant.
Yeah.
Especially if you have something like the Catalyst on both of those weapons. It can multiply the damage by a freak ton just by popping one super. But if you mix and match it with, for example, the Titan's Bubble or the mod for increasing your damage on light subclasses, if one of the enemies is affected by a darkness subclass or stasis, if you want to call it that, and you have basically you only need 3 players. You have a Titan. You can even have 2 Titans. It doesn't even matter because the third player is kind of just there for the stasis. But if you have 1 Warlock and 1 Titan with Bubble, and the Warlock with Wall of Radiance, well, you basically have, I wouldn't say an unstoppable team, but I'd say a really good team with really good synergy to do a crap ton of damage, for example, on a dungeon boss or a raid boss. So it's more in terms of players just use what is more convenient, and sometimes conveniency is just overall the best at what it should be doing, which, is getting players through the game. Because some players just want to play the game for a bit, have fun, and sure, they might try out some meta builds, particle construction, Well Radiance, Bubble, and Hunter's Tether to just get that extra increase, that extra bit of damage, because in the late game, every bit of damage counts. However minuscule it may seem. And this counts for every game where you have a mod and or, a random perk system. Every bit of damage counts. That's why MMORPGs are so competitive in the way that damage scaling, abilities, and overall just how to build works. Because if you make a build just for fun, it might end up being the best build for damage. And if you go into late game, for example, you go into a raid or a dungeon and an MMORPG, then I know this is kind of branching off from Destiny a little bit, but it still proves my point in a way that sometimes convenience might be the best, but sometimes it's not, in the sense that some people get used to having, in Destiny, for example, certain presets of abilities and basically passives that they don't really know what to do with the other subclasses. So they just end up sticking to what they're best at. For example, the Hunter's Tether, or the Dual Knives, or the Titan's Crash, or the Bubble.
Well, to read you Chris's response, he says, right, which is why we need to remake all together. We just need two classes, one for PvE and one for PvP, with a few different possibility setups. But he does understand exactly where you're coming from.
And don't we technically already have that? The only difference is that one's a different preset than the other.
Pretty much.
Like we are,
I mean, like I don't exactly use 6-shot golden gun, you know, for PvE content. That's for sure.
yeah.
I mean, you do have like your certain classes that work the best in PvE, like spectral blades. I don't use in PvP, even though there is a perk that I actually did not find out. It was a long time ago, but somebody pointed it out. What was the Titan deal that they could like shoulder charge? It was a thing that they could do. They could shoulder charge and it like debuffs the boss.
I think that's the hammer subclass, the middle one.
Yeah, what was that called?
Shoulder break or some shit like that. I don't know.
Something I can't remember. But the hunter also had that with spectral blades, and I didn't know that. Yeah. They had the same thing where they could give that exact same debuff on a boss, and basically what you had to do was you had to like crouch and get a collat or a headshot, and then I think you had to pop super or something. You had to do something, but you had to get the where you were invis, and then maybe pop super or something, and then hit the boss or something. I can't remember. God damn, it's been so long.
You had to do basically a Mortal Kombat fatality. Just
it was a lot of steps. It was a lot of setup just so you could get it. It was back when we were doing the forges. I don't know if you were around doing those, but whew, that was a long fucking time ago.
I was still on my Warframe hiatus.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was still a crack addict on Destiny. Trying to buy and sell platinum, you know?
Yeah, that was, oh man. That was way back in my old clan days, and I was, man, that was back when I was just an admin. I wasn't even a clan leader at the time. It was fucking crazy. And really, it was just me and one other person, my boy John. Shout out to my boy John. He'll probably never see this, but I don't think that dude plays video games anymore. I guess he got too old for video games, so.
Either that or life got too busy.
Yeah, well, he started. He was working at one place, and he lost his job over some stupid shit. Like, really, he was doing his job, but he got fired because of it, because he was doing his job. And then
that's my fault, right?
Yeah, and then he started working somewhere that was much better for him, and he loved it. but it was much different hours than what he was used to. And we just kind of had a falling out after that. Every once in a while, I'll get to say hi to him, but anymore, I just hate that. Like, you get so close to some people, and then people split, and it's like they're in your life and then out the next. It's crazy.
Life happens. People, you'd be surprised at the amount of people that you win and lose in one day. Like, one day you could meet somebody who might just absolutely click with you, and the other day you could lose another person that you thought you clicked with a lot, but not anymore, because you change. That's just how life is. You change normally, and people change
I know.
with you.
I've had people like that. Like my old clan leader, we were like 2 peas in a pie, if that makes any sense to anybody.
Yeah,
and
pod, basically blood brothers.
Yeah, basically. And then things happened, and now we hardly ever talk, and it sucks. But
You
it
gotta
is what
keep
it
moving
is.
on.
Yep.
Gotta keep moving on.
I mean, I'm always going to be around if you ever need somebody to talk to, but it's like, I mean, he's still my boy either way, but
Yeah, like he's still
That's
someone you care about.
yeah.
It's just that you both have different ways, different paths.
Right. It was kind of one of those situations where it's like, you know, you don't want to see him starving. You just don't want him sitting and eating at the same table as you.
Yeah.
Chris
But you
says
wish him
true
the
people.
best.
Hang on. Chris says true people rise and people fall, people hate, and people support you at 100. Yeah. Then life happens too. So, yeah, you ain't lying.
Sometimes it's not even like a change in the person. Sometimes it's a change in the people's environment that could cause a falling out. Like, it's so many different factors that could cause a falling out and or somebody coming into your life so suddenly, and suddenly out of nowhere kind of becoming a beacon of hope. It's so many things that can happen. It's the little things too.
Right.
The little things that you think don't really matter, they matter so much.
Right. I mean, I try to, I'm hoping that maybe even, with this podcast, maybe I could, maybe change someone's life or perspective on things, and, which, even if I change one person's life or made their day better or whatever, whatever the case may be, that's all that matters to me. I'm a simple person. I'm a very simple person.
Here's some food for thought. Basically,
I'm ready.
You could say in a way that you save one person, but in turn that person saves another person, and that person that person saves another person, and you basically create this amazing infinite cycle of giving back what you received. And you basically, just by saving one life, you could save 100, even 1,000 lives.
Yeah. One life is good enough for me. I mean, okay, let me take this to perspective. Let's say, like, for like, you get on, like, we'll use you, since you're in my audience now, and I'll use you as my little guinea pet. And all right, so what we're gonna say, like, you wanted to pursue something in your life, but you're not really sure on how to do it, where to even start. You're nervous about it, and maybe you get on the podcast and we hop on the subject, like somehow we end up on that subject, and then we talk about it, and then finally, like, I just, like, convince you, it's like, if it's something that you really, really want to do, and or you know, somehow you get inspired by doing it, and you finally pursue it, you know, if all I needed to do was give you just that little nudge, just be like, do it, I dare you, and I want to see your progress, and I'll be there to watch your progress, you know, and then finally you go for what it is that you enjoy. I mean, that's kind of, you know, that's kind of what, you know, how I see it. So, and if that changes your life in any kind of way, well, that'll make me happy. You know, I don't have to receive nothing out of it. I don't need no shout out at the end of the day. You know, as long as, like, if that's what you got to do what you got to do, man. That makes.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'll bring up this little, I guess, counter argument, you could say.
Okay.
But at the same time, even if you end up helping the person, you also got to keep in mind that you got to keep them grounded.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't just like fill them up with hot air. I mean,
yeah, because not grounded in the sense that, you know, don't fill them up, don't give them a lot of ego.
No.
I mean, like keeping them grounded in the sense that letting them know and keep in mind where they came from.
Well, like, let me show you my perspective on that, since you said that statements. When it comes to that, let's say, like, I've even told my dad about this, like, see, I work a manual labor job, right? And I have, you know, ever since I got out of high school, you know, I never got to be a pencil pusher, you know, working behind a desk, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. But that being said, if this decides to go somewhere and, you know, I start having an audience, people tune in and it starts blowing up, and I find a way to be independently monetized without YouTube or whatever, but like I can make a full-time job out of doing this because I have a lot of ideas later on down the road. I decided that, like, let's say if I blow up be big, rich, and famous or whatever, which I'm not, but I would actually take my work boots that I've been, like, I got my old pair and I got a new pair that my wife just bought me. I'm taking my old pair and I'm going to get a glass case to put them in. And then they're going to be in my studio or whatever to be a reminder of where I came from. That's how it's going to keep me grounded. Because I know if I fuck this up, that's where I'm going back to.
Yeah,
and also to remember where it all started, where it all began.
Yeah, but at the same time, not everybody has that thought process.
I know. And I think
people just say, I'm gonna freaking wing it. F everybody else, even those who helped me. I'm just gonna wing it. If I make it, I make it. If not, I'm gonna blame it on those who didn't help me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
those are the people that won't make it. Those would be the people that won't make it if they have that kind of attitude.
It's not,
you know,
it's not something that happens because they want to. It's just something that, like, kind of just happens subconsciously. Because not everybody was raised like, hey, you gotta keep yourself grounded. You gotta say grace, or like say thank you to those who helped you, and those who forsake you, you just gotta leave them behind.
Yes.
But some people just keep in mind those people who never helped them, those people who just completely ragged on them. And that's like, I mean, sure, it could serve as motivation at the start, but after a while, just keeping that thought of like, oh, I'm gonna make it, I have to. I don't want to prove those people to, like, true. That is a good motivation and a good, like, starter in a way, but at
Yeah.
the same time, after a while, maybe years, months, whatever, it could get so draining.
Oh, I
And
know.
it's just so tiring because you keep pushing yourself to the extreme, and you keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and eventually that thing that you grinded so hard for could be in the palm of your hands, and you'll just feel hollow
Right. Right.
because you didn't do it for yourself. You did it to prove everybody else wrong.
Yeah. Do it for
So, like,
yourself. That's the main
Yeah.
thing. So,
But some people don't really have that because, you know, they think like, no, I have to prove everybody wrong. I have to be on top. I have something to prove. But sometimes
Right.
you can get to the top with nothing to prove. Sometimes you could just want to do something and you just somehow end up succeeding in it. Like what you're doing.
Wow.
But you're doing this because you want to, because you want to communicate. You want to have conversations. You want to have fun in these conversations.
Well, and also to allow those in the community, you know, people that are just like me and you. You know, I'm not trying to be a streamer or anything, you know. I want to build up a community to break the echo chambers and to have many different people that think differently. You know, like Chris, he just wants two super classes, you know. He don't need 6. He don't need 20. He just needs 2. One for PvE and one for PvP. That'll make him happy. You know, it's easier to manage that way. You know, and I think he's crazy. But hey, you know, I like let's all accept accept each other. You know, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you know, we're still guardians. We still should look out for each other, and that's how it should be. You know, if you want to get all, you know, mushy about it. But anyways, we're coming up to almost an hour and a half. And if this is your first time here, which Chris, this is not your first time here.
But it's his first time listening to me.
Maybe. I can't remember. We're on episode 31. All right, so
it's been a while.
It's been a minute. So, it's a thing that I have let Old Wise do at the end of my show. I let him give the words of wisdom from the Old Wise. So, Jay, I will let you have the floor. Just don't take forever. You know, just keep it short and sweet. Short and sweet. You know, send everybody home with your final thoughts.
I was just throw in the point that I was making earlier.
Okay.
It's basically just, if you're gonna go for something and you really want to go for it and somebody's pushing you towards it, but you want to do it for yourself, not necessarily by yourself, because sometimes that's impossible, you know? But keep those who helped you in a tight circle. Keep those around you close. And again, maybe they might turn around on you, they might betray you, but you will learn from that and you'll become a better person because of that. And when you do make it, or if you make it, I don't know, you know? You'll end up learning from those experiences. And it could be a make or break situation, you know? So, at the end of the day, what I just mean is, if you're gonna go for it, just wing it. Just have fun with it. Just enjoy it to the best of your abilities, because You only live once, man. You only have, in this day and age, you only have about 80, 90 years. And in those later halves, it becomes harder and harder to move on and to do what you want. So do it while you're young. Just enjoy what you have and what you want to have. It's not about the ending, it's about the journey. That is where I will end it.
Bro, I bet you are just a hella talker if you spoke up a joint or something. It's like, damn, this boy, he get into your soul.
The funny thing is, I'm completely sober.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, man, you know, if we passed one around, boy, whew, yeah, that shall get into your soul. You know, it's just, it'll eat at you. It's like he's right. I need to stop being so damn lazy and get off my ass and actually make something out of myself. So
I mean, hey, you don't necessarily have to make something out of yourself to prove something, you know?
no, I don't. I'm just doing this for fun. See what happens, you know?
You're just enjoying the trip, man.
It's the journey I'm enjoying, not the end goal.
Yep.
So, all right, brother. I do appreciate your time with me, and thank you for joining. I want to go ahead and wrap up shop and shut it down for the night. But I will have a show again tomorrow night. Maybe something else will pop up, or I'll figure something out. I always do.
I'll see if I'm awake by then because I've been going to sleep early.
Oh, it's good. I mean, if you can't make it, that's fine. It's all good. I'll sit here and talk to myself if I got to. So
Let's see if we can get Lico into this next time.
hell yeah. So, all right, brother, you take her easy.
As always.
Later.
Later.
All right, we're gonna shut that down. But all right, Chris, since you're the one in chat right now, then we'll go ahead and call it a night. But those of you who end up watching this later on, I hope you enjoy yourself. I hope you're excited about Witch Queen, which it's okay to be excited. It's okay to be a little fanboyish. It's okay. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Don't let some random person on Twitter tell you different. Alright? You have your own mind. Think for yourself. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and shut her down for the night. I will be on tomorrow. And anywho, my name is Armalite. And until I see y'all again, stay classy, Guardians.